roll. I'm present. Dr. O'Neill?
Present.
Mr. Heater is out of town. Mrs. Barnes-Griffin?
Present.
Mr. Urban? Mr. Urban's out of town. I'm looking right at Mr. Lowe.
Here.
Mr. Lowe? Okay, present. Thank you. And I am here, so we have four. Welcome, everyone. Dr. K, your comments.
Well, good evening. I first want to appreciate, with it being the end of June and a lot of people are on vacation, that we have 4 board members who are here tonight. I also really want to recognize Jim, who spent the day in Chicago at a training, drove back tonight to be at our board meeting, and will head back to Chicago to continue his training. Talk about a dedicated staff, or dedicated board president, right? So thank you for that. So while I'm giving shout outs, I have to also look at Brad at the end of the table. So you know, Brad is our CFO, but in Muncie, we just don't do one job. We have multiple jobs under each of our titles. Brad is also our food service director. Even though we contract that out, we still, the state expects us to have a director. And so Brad trying to be conscientious with our operations fund and thinking about that. He serves in that role, and he spent the entire day today in Indianapolis at food service training, and he has 4 more to go. And so we'll find out by the end of the week what all we need to continue doing to offer the best food service training. We had a recent CEC, Community Engagement Council golf outing. I want to give a special thanks to Allison Quirk, who puts in a lot of time and effort, and everything she does is the highest quality. So of course it was a great success, and they raised $5,200. And I believe that they hope to use the funds to give them to our schools for when they do their family engagement. Our state and federal funds, we really are limited with being able to use, make food purchases with that. So this will be a way that we'd be able to get some food in when we're trying to do some of our engagement activities. So we're grateful for that. We'll be reminding families in July to register their students if they have not already done so. And then we also highly recommend them signing up 4-year-olds for preschool. So if you know of anybody who has a 4-year-old and wants to get started, we'll offer quality programs in all of our buildings. Summer schools and camps are still going strong and going well. And then lastly, I have to have everyone mark their calendars. We have our official hot off the press 2023 Summer Band Contest. So the ones that you'll really want to note are the Muncie Central Spirit of Sound Contest on Saturday, July 22nd. The contest begins at 7 and we will perform at 9:53. And then on July 29th is the Spirit of Run car show and state fair previews at Muncie Central Southside Middle School. It used to be at Central, and this coming up here it's going to be at Southside. So that will be nice. The car show begins at 5 o'clock, and our band will perform, band and color guard will perform at 9 o'clock. And then lastly, our Indiana State Fair Band Day is Friday, August 4th, and we'll learn later what time we'll be performing. And that is always a fun day also.
Anything further?
That's it.
Any questions for Dr. K? And we proceed to public comment. Mr. Yinzer?
Oh.
Rick Yenser, newsman and author. I was going through the agenda the other day and I found that all the contracts for your leaders are up tonight, and I never can decide whether you're going to say anything about them or not, so I will. You've got a contract here to renew with the CEO Leanne Kwiatkowski for $185,000 a year. You're paying her a housing allowance still of $1,500 a month, which she assured me that she lives here in Muncie, and transportation reimbursement of $1,000 a month. The other leaders here, Reynolds and DeRome, $142,000, $950 each, and the new assistant, D. Bell, $135,000. These seem to be in line with what averages state superintendents and other school administrators make, and I hope that you keep tab on just how much you pay, because again, it's hard to get teachers, hard to keep people. I found here in government and schools, there's still a shortage here, there, and everywhere. Otherwise, I also want to commend the school board for feeding the kids this summer. Poverty is still high, income is low, and the 4 schools you can't say enough about to have food at Northview, Northside, Longfellow, and Grissom this summer. Because again, anything you can do to help solve this massive poverty problem we have in this state is we're most thankful for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ianser. Appreciate your thoughts, as always. Certainly, we value all of our leaders and employees and faculty. The leadership group seated at this table are second to none around the state in this board's view, and I think they are oftentimes tapped by others around the state as resources. So we are extremely, extremely proud to have all of you with us at this table and in this endeavor. So it's one of the joys of driving back from Chicago today was to be able to say that. But in all seriousness, following up on what Mr. Ianser said, as you drive across the state, we do have issues. Town to town, I mean, there are challenges out there, and I'm just extremely heartened to see the work that all of you and all of the folks with MCS do. So thank you. We are on to the consent agenda. We have a number of items on the consent agenda, but I think we have some folks here who are either taking new roles or joining us. So let me just go around, and if you're joining us and if you feel up to it, can you introduce yourself and let us know what you're going to be doing? Start with you.
Me?
Yeah. Whoever. You guys.
I'm Mallory McCullough. I'm going to be the program coordinator at Camp Adventure and interventionist at whatever school is determined.
So Mallory, where are you from?
Anderson.
Okay. We're very glad to have you.
Thank you.
I think Camp Adventure is a wonderful resource for
I'm
us.
excited, yes.
Who's next?
Yeah. I'm Zachary McLeod. I'm going to be the new music teacher at Southview Elementary from Fortville, Indiana. That's where I currently live. So.
Wonderful. Great. I love your shirt.
Thank you. I thought it'd be appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Music should be joyful. And who'd you bring with you?
This is my wife and my 2 daughters, Harper and Nora.
Welcome, family. We're happy to have you. Who's next?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I'm Kenzie Yakum. I'll be the Assistant Director of Special Education.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Lapel, Indiana.
Lapel.
Yeah.
Okay, just down the road.
Actually, good church in Portville.
We're taking some Madison County people. Who's-
I am Wendy Thompson. I am the new staff coordinator at Southview Elementary, and I'm from here.
Welcome.
Thank you. You have Chandler Thompson?
I do.
That is his youngest little sister.
Okay, okay.
She's already accepted the training.
So thanks for attending a training before we dealt with it, but I can assure you, we are going to do so. And, Tara, how are you?
I'm well. I'm Tara Gudger, and I will be the new school counselor / athletic director at Northside Middle School. So I'm keeping the athletic piece, but changing ranks and being the school counselor this year.
Well, we are tickled that you are still with us, and we are tickled that you're taking on additional duties.
That's what we do. Tickle me till I'm crazy.
Anybody want to have anything further to say? Or we're gonna- Oh, good, okay. We talked briefly about the contracts that are in there. Those are being dealt with as well. I don't see anything else. Anybody else have any comments or questions regarding the items on the consent agenda? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Okay, we'll do Dr. O'Neill with the motion, Ms. Barnes Griffin with the second, and Mr. Urban coming in joking.
He's here in spirit.
I feel them too.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. There are no other action items. We're now going to the public hearing. This is the item on the agenda to hold public hearing on proposed project. You want to take over at that point?
Yes.
You get nervous when I start going through the script.
Yes, I'd like to introduce the project here first for the purpose of the public hearing tonight. We do have a lot of projects going on throughout the district, and this is a project that really wouldn't happen until next year and beyond, but this involves, and I did not put a picture in your packet because you all know what the Muncie Fieldhouse looks like on the outside and where it's located on the Muncie Central Campus. What this particular project would do, it involves making electrical upgrades, electrical improvements to the equipment at the Muncie Fieldhouse. This would also include, of course, it's all subject to bidding, but we'd also like to air condition that particular building, which would be a huge upgrade for us. This will also include some site work around it as well as, and if we do that, obviously we have to take down the boiler building that's on the outside of that particular building, right there on the, just north of the Fieldhouse building, where the boiler equipment is, because we'd go to a much more modern equipment. So this would be quite an improvement for school facilities, equipment, and technology there related to the Fieldhouse as well as other areas there in the district. A projection on this is $6.1 million. The debt payments, the way we have this structured, this is all through our estimates with our Baker Tilly financial counselors, that it would be a tax neutral provision because we would not set up payments for this until 2025, 26, 27, 28. So it's actually a four payments for this particular project. It's front loaded, so it would make a $3 million payment, $3,002,000 payment in 2025, and then it's $1,703,000 in 2026, $1,709,000 in 2027, and 2028 would finish that project at $604,000 on the payment. The reason it's structured that way, of course, this is all estimated on interest rates being favorable to us. This would allow us to remain a tax neutral provision with a 4-year, 10-month payback. It allows us to make significant improvements to the Muncie Central High School campus as well as the Muncie Fieldhouse, which obviously we did a lot of work to that building after the tornado in 2017 is when that tornado happened, and then we did the renovation with all the insurance money in 2019 to bring it back to life, and this just continues that process, because if you remember, we did not address any electrical issues or heating and cooling issues back during that time, because it was not considered damaged or not considered tornado damaged, so we didn't receive any money for that. So this just helps continue the improvements to the district, and I believe at this time I have completed the explanation of the project as well as the particular tax impact, and now we would be ready. I would pitch it back to our board president to continue to hold the hearing by asking for any comment from the public.
This is consistent with what's been discussed the past several meetings, and it's the third act of that play. Does anybody have any public comment regarding the proposed project, which is scheduled not for this year, but to commence in 2024?
Again, Rick Yenter, newsman, author. I'm glad you're saving the field house, unlike the stadium, which a lot of people thought should have been saved for the football. A lot of people have asked whether that's going to be ready for football season. But in this case, hopefully, this will preserve that landmark for several more years. And as I've said before, you've got the cash, so use it, and use local labor and suppliers, because I don't see a lot of that in a lot of building projects at government schools these days. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yenser. Public hearing is open. Mr. Yenser has commented. Does anybody else have any comments? Anybody else have any comments regarding the proposed project as described? Mr. Jerome, seeing no further comment, I assume we're moving on to the project resolution, which is Exhibit A in the packet,
That is
correct?
correct. If the board would be so kind to, Exhibit A establishes the estimated cost and timing of the tax impact. Exhibit B is a resolution. Both of these are resolutions put together by Jane Herndon. This allows any preliminary costs that we would incur before the project begins to actually be reimbursed later with bond proceeds. So we'd be asking for the motion from the school board to approve the Exhibit A resolution and Exhibit B.
Can we take those together?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody have any questions regarding the exhibits A and D? in the packet? If there are no questions or concerns, would entertain a motion to approve exhibits A and D. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. At this point, would entertain a motion to adjourn the hearing unless there are further concerns, questions, or comments. Moved and seconded to adjourn the public hearing. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Dialogue of the board and future recommendations. Again, I want to commend Mr. Jerome, and I know we have talked with Mr. Heater, among others, and folks at Baker Tilly, but the preservation of the physical plant of the school system has been greatly enhanced by your presence with us. So thank you. Unless anybody else has anything further, we will head on to media questions. Mr. Yenser, I think you're the only member of the media here. Anything further?
No, you answered all of them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you all. I think that's a record.